Okay, you've selected the online FIDE arena, the newest updates from the playlist so far. Welcome everyone. How's it going, guys and girls? We have another Sicilian, old Sicilian, and let's take a look at this from White's perspective. In this game, your operator, your virtual player had knight to c6 with the black pieces, and we continue with knight to c3. Okay, d6, bishop c4. Going for the Baudelaire variation, but now anti-fried liver of the Italian with h6 and d3. Okay, so the best move in this position, according to the engine, is just d4. d3 is a little passive, and after c takes, knight takes, and bishop to d7, and sometimes we see maybe bishop to f4, knight f6, short castles, e5. And after e5, typically bishop drops back to g3. And black can continue in a number of ways here, guys. Just maybe bishop e7 is okay. And in some cases, maybe we have f4. And now if black takes, bishop takes, and short castles. So this is a typical game. White can capture, bishop captures, and who knows? Maybe even queen f3, not queen f3, but queen e2. Rook c8 and rook from a to d1. And this is a pretty typical chess game. Looks virtually even. All pieces are developed. I like black just a little bit, but I also like white as well. There's a little virtual coverage brought to you by myself. Call in your operator. So, instead, h6, d3. This is going to be a short one here, guys. d3. So a little passive from white, but this isn't all mistakes. d3 was not a mistake. So h3, knight a5, now going after the light squared bishop, and bishop e5 check. Bishop to d7, and bishop to d7 blocks the check, recapturing now with the queen. And as a result, bishop to e3 was played, and h6. So now not allowing the knight to get to b5, prophylaxis, and now d4. So d4 should have been played earlier. Now this gives black a chance to hop through, and knight c4 is already, could be winning in this setup. b3 attacking the dark horse, now taking the dark squared bishop on e3, f captures e3, and e5. Okay. Striking in the center, pushing to close the center, but after we see bishop e7 and g4, which was a mistake, g5, queen e2, b5, a4, b4, and knight to b1. That knight was attacking e4, which was defended by the c3 knight, which is now not defended, so captures. Black has +1, and black also has a dark square bishop, and white has a bishop knight on b1 for a dark squared bishop. So queen to b7, not really ready to capture on d5 yet, so short castles. Guys, if something now in this position, you're not supposed to capture here on d5, because if you capture on d5, white could play a move like this, and now there's no way to save the knight. Yeah, this would be very, very bad for black. Black had done so well to gain some initiative in the opening, going +1 and actually winning a pawn, while still being up a bishop, but now this loses. There's no defense, so let's play like a random move, just trying to defend maybe something like f5. And then you can either actually capture with like a rook or a pawn. And yeah, this should be finished. This should be all there is to talk about. Long castles, and queen takes, knight takes, and black is losing. So not falling for the bait there and taking the poison d5 pawn, just dropping the knight back to f6, now putting a double attack, just being a better, playing stronger moves here. A little notch up. Rook d1, rook c8, and h4. G captures on h4, knight captures on h4, with rook to g8, and now there's a double attack on g4. So I mentioned g4 was a mistake. Unpinning now the king to the skewer, but it's too late now because rook captures on g4. Queen h3, now giving more support to the attack, only by one queen, but as it does is the g4 rook is defended by the knight on f6 as well. So queen to h2, knight to d2, and throwing a check here with knight to g3, king f2 now. But after bishop captures pawn on h4, now there is a very deadly skewer here, and there are way too many pieces on the king side. Just infiltrating here, just giving up a pawn. This is what it led to in the center. We mentioned why d3 was an inferior move, and this is why. King d1, throwing another check on c3, king c1. Rook captures, my opponent not capturing, just getting out of the way. If something like queen captures here, well then there's just a discovered royal fork on e2, and white can resign. So instead, just getting out of the way, prolonging the game a little longer. Rook a1, queen captures, but this terminates, and the line is rook a2, king c1, and queen c2 check and mate, of course hashtag. So feel free to rewind this video. I'll rewind it for you now so we can just kind of look at what happened here. So maybe not to play d3. It's not like d3 is poor, but white should just play d4 and get things going in the center. You can even respond to something like knight to f6 here, and it looks like a very even position. Black has already played h6, so it's good. Thanks everyone for watching and participating. Let's go with what happens after h3, knight a5. Bishop comes in, giving up the light squared bishop, but it's too late, even after something like bishop to e3, because now after knight c4, the bishop has really nowhere to go. You could drop the bishop all the way back to c1, but I think that's going to give black some tempos. Black can even play like g6 now and go for something else a little scary. But instead, after the exchange variation, these double pawns on the e file are just no good. b5 is coming with b4, even after d5. So that's why bishop e7 and g4, as we mentioned, was a mistake. g5, queen e2, b5, a4, and b4, forcing the knight to drop back and giving up a pawn here, not falling for the poison d5 pawn after short castles, as we just went through here. And you guys should have learned something today and got a lot out of it. Take care, and much more to come on the other side. And plenty more to come in the FIDE Online Arena playlist, as well as the USVI expansion project for the year 2021. Good luck with your chess as usual, over the board and at home. Take care, and see you all on the other side.